Thanks for tuning in to the Orlando Museum of Art's new video series, Paintings and Pandemics. I'm Molly Driscoll, the Associate Curator for Community Engagement.
And I'm David Madison, the Associate Curator of Education and Outreach. You might know us from the museum, where we connect with visitors to share our love for the arts.
We are organizing these videos by selecting works in our collection whose creation dates correspond to past pandemics. Neither one of us is an epidemiologist. Rather, we are focusing on the history and context of these pandemics and the artists creating at the time.
The museum is currently closed to the public, and the staff is working remotely. We are pre-recording these videos, and like you, we will be watching them from home while adhering to guidelines for social distancing.
Our hope is that if we can distract or entertain or inform you in some small way, then we are continuing to extend the museum's mission to inspire creativity, passion, and intellectual curiosity by connecting people with art and new ideas.
Our featured artist for this episode, Frank Moore, was at the heart of the activist movement surrounding the HIV and AIDS crisis.
He was a founding member of the Visual AIDS, an organization that advocates for HIV and AIDS awareness through thought-provoking education programs and gallery exhibitions. As part of this group, Moore was the visionary behind the Red Ribbon Project, which gave the disease its most recognizable icon.
After he was diagnosed with HIV in 1985, Moore began to address concerns about the disease, transmission, and bioethics within his paintings.
Black Pillow, this piece in our collection, was created in 2002, and it is a brilliant example of how Moore set up visual contradictions within his works, causing us to question the oftentimes paradoxical nature of our culture.
There's definitely something that is just not quite right about this painting. It's one of those works that makes me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely, but at the same time, I feel like you have to take your time looking to appreciate all the visual details Moore has included.
Like the fact that our farm hunk is watering the crop with a gas pump?
That, but also the fact that the stalks are budding keyboards instead of actual corn.
Certainly clever.
This one is a real puzzle, though. Do you think he is making an overt political statement?
I mean, I don't feel like he's suggesting a specific political ideology. It's more like an open-ended question than a specific solution.
It's nuanced.
Exactly. I'm always interested also in those butterflies that he's included throughout the work.
Oh, that's a subtle cue. What do the butterflies represent to you?
Well, the butterflies seem to be unencumbered by all of the cyber brouhaha and oil mining that is dominating the painting. It's as if, despite the contemporary reconfiguration of the traditional farming landscape, the butterflies persevere with nature's agenda. They're resilient.
In art history, butterflies are often a symbol for transformation, which is definitely something we have seen in the agricultural industry in our lifetimes. Just think about the dichotomy between genetically engineered versus organic foods.
Or how oil mining and fracking is a profitable venture with major environmental consequences.
Now that we're talking about this, though, I agree with you that Moore isn't exactly telling us what to think about these changes. He's not strongly for or against any sort of farming agenda per se.
No, I think he does exactly what many contemporary artists attempt to do. He sparks a dialogue about actions and practices that affect our everyday lives.
I mean, these changes are attractive for a reason.
Do you think that's the reasoning behind our hunky farmer attraction?
Oh boy, yeah, we've danced around that one quite a bit, haven't we? He's definitely attractive.
He's luring us to the seductive life of fracking and genetically modified foods.
Do you remember when we almost featured this image in the museum's calendar for February?
The month of love, featuring the suggestive farm hunk.
Exactly. Probably a good call to highlight another piece from the collection.
Maybe it would have worked, though, for another month, like May. Oil showers bring May flowers.
Love it.
Right. So, back to the painting.
And the pandemic.
Right. The HIV and AIDS pandemic. The first cases were diagnosed in 1981 based on the patient's development of a type of life-threatening infection that is commonly seen in those with compromised immune systems.
But prior to presenting the symptoms of this infection, the men who were diagnosed were healthy. The CDC had never seen anything like this before.
It took another 4 years before researchers identified and developed testing for the human immunodeficiency virus, the virus that causes AIDS.
As of 2018, there are 37.9 million people infected globally.
And 32 million people have died of AIDS-related illnesses since the pandemic's start.
I think what's frightening about the history of this pandemic is that it took several years to identify the virus, how it was transmitted, and then to begin research on treatments.
It's very different from the rapid response of scientific research we are seeing with COVID-19. But in addition to that, you can't talk about HIV without talking about the social response. It affected gay men disproportionately, and societal fear led to truly nasty discrimination against this community. The AIDS crisis has cast a long shadow upon gay culture.
It's sad what fear can lead people to do. It's also sobering to think that there was a whole generation of creative, cultural producers who were lost to this disease.
Moore was among them. He battled this disease for 17 years before passing away in 2002.
It's crazy to think about that. Less than 20 years ago, and yet in that time we've seen such advances in treatment.
HIV is no longer a death sentence. Modern science has provided several viable treatments, and those infected may live full lives as a result. There are also highly effective preventative medications today that have significantly slowed the transmission of HIV.
So there are significant benefits to the advances in technology that Moore is alluding to in this painting.
Definitely. We're seeing that not only with HIV treatment, but in the ways scientists are addressing this current pandemic.
We are so grateful for those medical researchers.
I'm sure it is thanks to them that we will be back at the museum visiting with all of you again soon.
What other details do you notice in this artwork that we may have missed? Included in the comment section below are a list of questions to keep the dialogue going with your loved ones at home. We welcome you to also share responses with us. We love to hear from enthusiastic art lovers.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Paintings and Pandemics. If you haven't already, be sure to like and follow the museum's social media accounts for more exciting content, news about our reopening, and future events and classes.
You can also show your financial support by donating via text message. Just text OMA to 71777 to make your contribution.
Thanks for watching this video brought to you by the team at the Orlando Museum of Art.